Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most AI research is just fast paraphrasing. The real edge comes from tools that help you ask better questions, find credible sources, and build arguments you can defend. Today, 4 heavyweights face a simple reality check. Which one actually moves a project from vague idea to tossable draft with citations you trust? If you write, study, or make decisions for a living, this matters. A good assistant cuts hours from literature scans, spots blind spots, and keeps your claims anchored to evidence. A bad one gives you confident nonsense. That difference can cost grades, budgets, or credibility. We'll compare how Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude handle the research loop end to end, scoping a question, sweeping the web, triaging sources, extracting facts, and turning notes into a defendable outline or draft. The goal isn't hype, it's workflow. First, the thesis. The best tool is the one that keeps you closest to your sources without slowing you down. Think of the research loop as 5 steps. Clarify, discover, verify, synthesize, and write. Different assistants spike at different steps. The right pick depends on whether you value speed, depth, or structure more. Sounds obvious until deadlines hit. Perplexity shines at the discover step. It's built like a research browser, not a chat toy. Ask a scoped question, and it returns a compact answer with live citations you can open and skim. Need a sweep across news, blogs, and papers? It pulls a broad net fast and keeps the links front and center. That creates a habit. You click, you check, you learn. The trade-off is depth. Perplexity moves quickly, but long, nuanced synthesis, especially across many PDFs, still requires you to take the baton and run. It's the scout that brings back a map, not the analyst who writes the report. And when sources conflict, you'll sometimes get a tidy summary before there's a firm resolution. Ever had a tool sound certain when the evidence is muddy? Gemini's edge is integrated context. Ask it to explore a topic, then drop in articles, PDFs, or your notes, and it can reason across them with solid recall. Paired with Notebook LM, it becomes a source-bound explainer. You load a set of documents, and it answers strictly from those with inline pointers back to the text. That's gold for students and teams who must stay inside a defined corpus. The price you pay is setup time. You need to gather the material first, organize it, and choose what's in bounds. If your question is open-ended or you're still at the find the landscape stage, that constraint can feel like a speed bump. But when the stakes are accuracy over breadth, staying inside the walls is a feature, not a bug. ChatGPT is the flexible generalist that helps at every step, especially synthesize and write. Feed it your question, paste short excerpts, and it creates structured outlines, comparison tables, or argument trees that feel like a head start instead of a final draft. With longer context windows and project organization features, it can track definitions, threads, and evolving angles over time. That said, generalist cuts both ways. Out of the box, it may summarize smoothly without showing where each claim came from. If you don't push it to attribute or quote passages, you can drift into glossy prose with fuzzy sourcing. Quick fix: work in an evidence-first loop. Ask it to extract direct quotes with citations before you let it write any paragraph. Claude is the quiet powerhouse for reasoning and long reads. It's noticeably good at digesting dense PDFs, preserving nuance, and reflecting uncertainty when the literature is split. When you hand it a naughty methods section, it tends to restate it faithfully, then surface what's debated and what's agreed. That temperament makes it ideal for verify and clarify. The trade-off is that it won't always volunteer aggressive, opinionated synthesis unless asked. Think of Claude as the meticulous research partner who underlines your paper and leaves margin notes. You still own the thesis. Let's put this into an example flow. You're investigating whether a new policy improves small business lending. Start with Perplexity to scan the recent landscape and open 5 promising sources. Switch to Gemini with a Notebook LM project and load the 2 best reports plus any government datasets or PDFs. Ask targeted questions inside that's set to keep answers grounded. Move to ChatGPT to transform your highlights into a bulletproof outline with sections, claims, and counterclaims, each mapped to a source. Finally, paste key passages into Claude and ask for a Steelman versus Strongest rebuttal pass to test your argument's integrity. 4 tools, 1 loop, minimal wheel spinning. Could one assistant do all of it? Maybe. But splitting roles reduces failure modes. Now, limitations. All 4 can hallucinate if you let them free write without source pressure. Paywalls and blocked sites can hide crucial context. Tool updates can shift behaviors overnight. And privacy matters. If your research is sensitive, check data retention settings and enterprise options before pasting anything confidential. One more hard truth: no assistant removes the need to read. They accelerate focus. They don't outsource judgment. So which one should you pick today? If you need fast discovery with clickable receipts, Perplexity is hard to beat. If your work lives inside a defined set of documents where provenance is everything, Gemini plus Notebook LM is a strong pair. If you want a tireless co-author that can structure arguments, iterate drafts, and keep momentum, ChatGPT is the most adaptable. If you value careful comprehension of long technical texts with honest uncertainty, Claude feels like the safest set of eyes. Preference isn't loyalty, it's task fit. Mini recap. The winning research stack keeps you near your sources while speeding up every loop. Use a scout for breadth, a librarian for grounded Q&amp, a writer for structure, and a reviewer for rigor. Your actionable takeaway. Design your workflow so every claim in your draft can be clicked back to a source in one step. If that's not true, you're not done. If this breakdown helped, tell me which assistant you'd trust for your next project and why. And subscribe for deeper hands-on comparisons with real tasks and datasets.